I used to spend hours immersed in my favorite video game series, Halo. Exploring strange worlds, driving warthogs through alien terrain, chasing that feeling of freedom, but through a screen. It's kind of ironic, really. I was always chasing adventure, just never in the real world. Travel just never really appealed to me. I told myself I was just a homebody, but maybe I was just waiting for the right reason to go. Then came my version of the Warthog from Halo, the Bronco. Not just a truck, a key to something real. I realized adventure wasn't just on a screen, it was waiting right outside my comfort zone. I still love playing video games, but now I crave a different kind of adventure. One with dirt on my tires, wind in my face, and no respawns needed. Because out there, beyond the pavement, is a life that reminds me I was made to explore. Follow me along on one of my longest overland trips yet. Not just in mileage, but also in time spent away from home. My end goal was to explore multiple trails in southern Utah. So saddle up and get ready for a change of scenery on this episode of Tales from the Trails.
Alright, we got the back here packed. I got my water so we can just open and refill the jugs if we need to. I got my fridge here ready to go. That's Connor's tent. Pelican with all the outdoor gear. Some propane for the grill up there. And, you know, I'm wearing my boots right now, but if I need to change to some shoes because I'm wearing shorts, I got those as well. Now here's where the real mess begins. What is going on? Yeah, we have a lot of gear. What I did not accommodate for was hidden right here. There's a big, massive, a full-size mattress for Connor, and his tent is also a like 3 to 4 person tent. So I'm already limited on space with the gear I bring, but having Connor's duffel bag and a mattress and a tent definitely takes up space. Thank God I got that rear shelf before we went, because this is definitely going to be valuable space up here with a lot of important things like the toilet over here on the left side in the privacy tent. I got my ladder up there. I have my table here. Got my air compressor and recovery gear on this side. So yeah, it's pretty packed, but you know what? I'm ready to go.
Currently, the plan is for Connor and I to drive up to Sedona and meet Don and Sochi. They had camped out on Schnebly Hill Friday night. Connor and I were supposed to camp with them, but that was if we got the car packed and ready to go the day before. With our work schedules, unfortunately, we just didn't find the time to get the car packed and depart in a timely manner so we could get up to Sedona. So we're meeting them this morning so we could all drive up to Page together. Hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Who's this? I've never seen this one.
This is Xylo.
Xylo.
He is a menacing creature.
That's a good way of putting it. Our end goal for day one of the trip was to make it to White Pockets, Arizona. But before we could get there, I wanted to make a quick stop at a short trail that's only 4 miles long for our lunch break. The trail is Soap Creek Skirt, rated as a 4 out of 10 on Onyx Off-Road, which is surprising because this trail is pretty flat. Just a little bit rocky here at the beginning, but nothing I'd consider moderately difficult, especially for a high clearance 4x4. The trail only takes about 25 minutes to complete, and definitely under an hour to go there and back. It's a very short trail. The reason I wanted to stop here though was because I've actually camped here before when I first got the Bronco last year in 2024. I just never documented it. On that trip, I had found some really cool geodes that were exposed out in the rock. And after hanging out with my buddy Luke on these trips, he's really opened my eyes to rock hounding, which if you don't know, it's just the practice of finding cool rocks and retrieving them for you geology nerds out there. Also, this spot had some great views because you are right on top of the Colorado River.
The geodes right down there. There's like 3 of them too that are just exposed. A wind movement, a wind movement.
On an adventure right now.
Oh look, there's people on boats down there.
Respawns are off in this realm.
After collecting some rock specimens for Luke, it was time for us to make it back to the main road and continue onwards to White Pockets.
Very scary. Just pitch black. Nothing but headlight.
We went up to Payson a few.
Which rock?
So when you pull off the 89 highway, you're going to meet up with House Rock Road, a trail that's pretty much just a long gravel road.
We're good for now. If it gets rougher, we can.
Who took that time?
Eventually, you will meet some signage that does state that high clearance 4x4s are going to be needed from this point forward. And for people to know the difference between 2-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive.
Killed because
I have a feeling a lot of tourists who want to go see the scenery will take things out, maybe like the Subaru here, and they might find themselves stuck in this thick powdery sand. There's also a couple points through this trail that it gets a little rocky. I could definitely see something with lower clearance getting their bumpers or underside scraped up on these rockier portions. I'm not saying you can't make it out there, because we did see a lot of vehicles varying in capability from Camrys to 2-wheel drive trucks, Subarus, or even our vehicles, but just be cautious if you're going to go alone. If you're concerned about this, we recommend doing what Connor did. He highly recommends the tour guides up there for White Pockets, where you are taken to the trail rather than having to drive yourself.
Gladiator.
Jesus.
So we can go ahead and pause that track.
Yeah, we're going.
Our
I'm
goal is to
excited.
get all the way,
I want to go now.
Let's go!
all the way out there.
I'll walk, but not that excited. No, it's just getting, obviously.
Nature.
Nature.
We just finished up at White Pockets. Connor, you did a little bit more hiking when you were here, right?
Correct.
Okay, so there we saw most of everything. I think we missed what, one or two kind of scenic mountains, because there were kind of swirls on the rock. I can actually probably just put your photos over this right now. There were a couple points where you could hike out and kind of end up on this big rock and then get a really cool photo with all the swirls and everything. I think what did us in was the hike over to the petroglyphs through the sand. That kind of, maybe not Connor or Don, but Sochi and I got worn out walking through the soft sand to get over those petroglyphs. And we almost left in defeat because we went to kind of where the coordinates take you to look at it, and it kind of leads to a cave, and we all kind of took the moment to sit down in the shade. We got to the cave and we didn't see anything. Connor kind of walked around to the side, didn't see anything. And as we're leaving, it's like, well, there they are. They're right on the outside of the wall, and we just completely missed them. But White Pockets is pretty cool, though. It's definitely something that if you're, you know, planning a trip through Utah to Arizona, or, you know, just kind of wanting to hit it, it's definitely worth seeing with your own eyes. Connor said that there were very, very few people when he went, but it was definitely a busy day for us. And we're kind of hitting sunset right now. We're trying to leave so we can go find a camp spot before that sun goes down, just so we're not setting up at night, although I'm not opposed to night wheeling. I would imagine that these views are even more epic when the sun is setting, because depending on where you're hiking on the trail, you definitely can have the sunset behind the main like white pockets. I think there's an angle you could hit, at least when it looks like we could. But no, it was really cool. Thank you, Connor, for taking us here. Although I think Sochi was already wanting to come here, and Connor kind of, you know, nail in the coffin said let's do it when I told him that we were coming to White Pockets, because originally we were not coming here to start the trip. So Sochi and Connor, you guys suggested a great spot. Alright, so currently we're trying to work, I'm trying to get us over to Kebab National Forest. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but my goal was to try and get us closest to this area for two reasons. One, after looking at the map, I recently just upgraded my membership on X Off-Road to the Elite membership. They just dropped a cool feature that now shows you a layer of all the dispersed camping on the trails or in your area, which is fantastic, because often when you're just kind of out exploring, there's a lot of times you're not sure if you're allowed to disperse camp. So we're trying to get to an area that we know is allowing us to disperse camp. The second reason is there's a gas station that is in, you know, that area as well, and I don't think there's any. I think we're so kind of deep off-road right now that there's no gas stations in the area. So my goal is to get us around there, find a spot to set up camp. Looks like we're about to hit some night wheeling, which I'm excited about. And then that way in the morning, it's just a quick dart to the gas station. At least we can fill up quickly in the morning and then make our way to San Hollow tomorrow. So yeah, it turned out to be a little bit longer from White Pockets to a camp spot than maybe we were anticipating, but I think we're gonna you know, appreciate that in the morning. Today was a long day. We drove a lot. I don't know the exact mileage for day one, but we got up at 6 in the morning to depart by 7, met up with Don and Sochi in Sedona by 9, then made our way to Soap Creek Skirt up in Page for lunch by noon, ended up at White Pockets around 4 p.m., then departed Kaibab at 6 p.m., and after 2.5 hours of wheeling, we had finally found this camp spot around 8:30 p.m. Yeah, it was a lot of driving today. I think we would have liked to have stayed in White Pockets, especially after hiking the area. Just being able to set up camp right there would have been our preference, but unfortunately, since it was Memorial Day weekend, there were a lot of other campers out there and really no room for us.
which is why I had made this route for us to go to Kaibab National Forest, so we could just end up being closer to this gas station, and I figured it'd be nicer to have a shorter drive to Sand Hollow State Park in Utah in the morning. The moment you hear the rain drop, you're gonna be scattered up in that tent.
Yeah, it's gonna be like...
This was definitely a wheel-heavy day. A lot of driving and miles were under our belt. Something I wasn't really expecting though was for us to have trouble finding a camp spot here in the forest, but nevertheless, today was quite rewarding. At least Connor and I felt all the driving was worth the amazing scenery. After a long day, a warm meal at the campfire is exactly what we needed for a good reset. Especially for we're about to do it all over again tomorrow. Even though day one was long, I was really looking forward to seeing what the rest of the trip had in store, both in the sights we're about to see and the type of wheeling we're about to do. Overall, what a great start to our trip. Remember, every mile's a memory. Stay safe, stay wild, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
I do. But my back muscle is like a little bit bigger on one side than the other.
Yeah. A what?
My back muscle.
Which one?
My right.
How do you know that?
You can see it.
I could see it.
I'm like that too.
There you go.
So my advice would be to plug your ears because it is about to make a nice symphony of noises.